Hey everyone, welcome to Core Harmony. Today we are going to solve LeetCode problem number 1346. Check if n and its double exist. This question is asked in Google, Amazon and Adobe or Bloomberg. So it's an important question and also it is marked as easy. So it's a good question to get comfortable with the basic concepts. Here's the problem statement. We are given an array of integers and we have to check if there exist two indices I and j such that I is not equal to j. It means both I and j are different indices in the array. I, j are in the range, so both I and j are valid and element at one index is equal to the double of element present at the second index. So we just have to find whether there are two indices in the array such that the element at one index is double of the element at second index. Or you can also say element at the second index is half of the element at the first index. Okay, and what if we are able to find that valid ij pair? We just have to return true in that case, otherwise return false. So it's a boolean return type. Let's have a look on the example. In the example, this is the array given to us 10 2 5 3 and we need to see whether there are two indices I and j such that one element is double of second or second element is double half of first. Both the indices should be different, though those cannot be same, because there is a possibility, let's say 0 is present only once in the array and I is here, j is here. This is going to satisfy the condition. So yeah, we will go as per the problem statement. We have to find an index I such that for index I there is an element at index j such that that element is either double or half. If I make a dry run, so if I firstly choose 10, so I will see whether the 10 by 2 exists in the array or 2 into 10 exists in the array. Okay, because it is not given to us that I is less than j. I comma j is less than array dot length. Element at I can be bigger or element at I can be smaller. This is you have to keep in mind. Don't just directly compare it with the double. Okay, so I have 10. I will see whether there is any element. So I will see for all the other elements except from this current I value. I find 5. 5 is where double of 5 is equal to 10. So yeah, I found my valid pair and in that case I will directly return true from my loop. And what is going to be the brute force of this approach? Brute force is the same that we are using two nested loops. First loop is going from 0 to n minus 1 and second loop is also going from 0 to n minus 1. And we will see. We will try to see whether there is any element present at I which is double of element present at j. So this condition we have to see, and we also need to see this condition that those two indices are different indices. If that is the case, we will return true. Otherwise we are coming out of it, we will return false. So this was the brute force. And what will be the time complexity and space complexity of this approach? Time is for every n element in the array. This loop is going n times, this loop is also going n times. So it is going to be order of n into n. And what is the space complexity? We have not taken any extra space, so it is constant for this. But this approach is going to give me time limit exceeded for very large value of n. So how do we optimize this approach? To make it an optimized version, we are going to use set data structure. So whenever I'm at the ith element, there is the possibility that the half of that element is already present in the previous part, or maybe the possibility that double of the element is already present. So when the I is equal to n minus 1, we are definitely going to cover all the possibilities. So what we will do is, for all the visited values, I will keep track of them in the set data structure. Let's make a dry run on this example. I am iterating over the array using my I pointer. I is at 0. I will see whether the value at I divided by 2 or 2 into value at I, whether any of these two values already exist in the set or not. And also you want to see that whether you are dividing it with 2 already exist. If you are dividing it with 2, you first need to see whether it is divisible by 2 or not. So we'll check that condition as well. We'll take care of that in the core section directly. Okay, so 10 by 2 is not in the set. because set is empty in the starting. So if none of the value exists in the set, I will move ahead and add the current element in the set. Now we are at 2. We will see whether the half of the 2 or double of the 2 exists in the set or not. No, that is not present. So we'll add the current element as well and we will move further. Now we are at 5. We will see whether the half of that element, if it is divisible, no, it is not divisible by 2. So now we will check double of that element, 2 into 5 exists in the set or not. 2 into 5 already exists. So if that condition met, we are directly going to return true from our function and we don't have to go ahead. So here what I did is that I iterated over the array, and every time I am seeing that whether the double of that element is present in the set or half of the element. So by using an extra data structure which is set, we are able to reduce the time complexity to only one iteration. So time complexity is going to be order of n, but space complexity will be increased because we are using set data structure. In the worst case can go till order of n. I hope you are able to understand the approach. We'll directly code this problem. I will take a set to keep storing my elements. Now I will iterate on every single element in this array. If the half of that element or the double of that element is present in the set, I will return true. And along with that, if that is not true, I will add that in the set. And even after coming out of this loop, I don't have the answer. It will definitely be false. So just take care of these conditions. If the double is present in the set, so set contains 2 into I. And the second condition is set contains I divided by 2. But before checking the half value, we also need to see whether the I is divisible by 2 or not. These are the two conditions we have to check. I'm checking on the sample test cases. Sample test cases, it is working fine, submitting the problem. I hope you have understood the problem. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.